Good day everyone, my name is Rachanivan Sinikun from the University of Oxford. Today I will present our work entitled Design of an Integrated Clinical Research Informatics System for a Multi-Center and Multi-Visit Prospective Birth Cohort Study. Apart from me, this work was done by Richard J. Mott and Asnai Nitirojananand. For the motivation, we have been conducting a birth cohort study in environmental health in Thailand. Collecting data in a multi-center and multi-visit birth cohort research study, particularly in the environmental health field, is challenging due to the vast amount of information to be captured from multiple sources over a long period of time. For example, participants' specimens and healthcare records. It can be a substantial burden of research staff taking up a lot of their time to enter data and monitor progress, data quality, and completeness. Therefore, a data collection system should be designed to minimize these difficulties, developing an electronic web-based system that combines all the required data collection systems into a single comprehensive system could address the above issues. We were unable to find a suitable low-cost solution for the multiple sources of data collected in complex studies such as in our research, so we choose to develop our own. This work contributes firstly a design approach for developing the bespoke clinical research informatics system. And then we further demonstrate the application of the approach to support the pilot phase of a birth cohort study in Thailand. The method that we use will cover two things: the study protocol and design procedure. The design procedure has 3 steps: gathering requirements of the system, analyzing the study workflow, and designing components of the system. In the next couple of slides, I will cover all of this. This picture shows the study protocol in summary, which we obtained the ethical approval since 2018. In total, 200 pregnant women enrolled from 3 hospitals in Thailand: Ramathipati, Samut Prakan, and Rayong Hospital. It located in different provinces. Following up period is from pregnancy until their expected children reach 2 years old. Data collection include repeated self-assessment questionnaire every 2 to 3 months, clinical record data, and biospecimen collection. The study was conducted from April 2018 onward. It is expected to finish in December 2020. The procedure to design our system, it consists of 3 steps. Firstly, gathering requirements to select the proper technology and development tools. Secondly, analyzing workflow in the study to define the components in the system. And finally, designing the system components. For designing and developing the system, we held regular meetings between the research team and the development team to gather our requirements and produce the output. Here shown on the slide, 3 key requirements based on the study protocol were identified. Data needed to be shared in real time while avoiding duplication copies of the data. The system should be intuitive and user-friendly. The system should be able to track and monitor progress for at least 2.5 years well. After gathering requirements, we analyzed the study workflow based on the study protocol we have mentioned earlier to identify components of the system. From the bottom half of the picture, these 11 visits correspond to their regular appointments with the hospital. During these visits, data related to a participant were categorized into 3 groups based on means of collections. questionnaires, clinical record form, including investigation and sample information management or SIM. The components of the proposed system are shown within the light gray box. The system comprises 3 components identified in the previous slide, and the other 2 were additionally identified. In this case, the system also requires central database to store the data, as well as a component to provide tracking and monitoring of study activities. Up to this point, the system has been completely designed. The next step, we will show the results of the design approach. For the result, I will talk about development tools, roles in assessing system, data collection and management, data security, system functional verification, and lessons learned that we got from the study. Based on the requirement gathered in the design meeting, we decided to develop the system as a web application with domain name wecare.info. A web application is a client-server computer program that runs on a web browser. For ease of use and convenience, the developed system was intended for use on both desktop computers and mobile phones, and a variety of web browsers. So the web application was developed using HTML5 so that it could be supported by major web browsers, including Chrome, Internet Explorer for Safari, and Firefox. Also, PHP and JavaScript, which are scripting languages, were used to enable dynamic and interactive features in the web application, for example, live validation of data entered. MariaDB, a relational database based on MySQL, was used to store the data. After selecting development tools, we then identified 3 different roles in the assessing system, which are participants, investigators, and laboratory technicians. Those 3 roles were granted access with different permissions and only accessed the part they had been assigned to. We used authentication system verify user permission and took them to the appropriate part of the system after login. Investigators and laboratory technicians are restricted to the data collected from participants within their hospital. To view of data from other hospitals is not permitted. Only the principal investigator can access and view data without any restriction. This picture shows data collection and management in the system. The system consists of 5 components: SAQ, CRF, SIM, monitor, and central database. The first 3 parts were used to collect their corresponding data, and the monitor was used to retrieve the data and generate up-to-date reports. All data were stored in the individual tables in the central database. Questionnaires and clinical data were captured once per visit, while specimens could be captured more than once in a single visit, as multiple types of specimens were acquired. For tracking and monitoring progress, the system allows investigators and laboratory technicians to review the data that they have entered through the monitoring component. For the principal investigator, in addition to the CRF and SIM reports, the monitor also contains data summaries and descriptive reports. For data security, we use password to protect the system. OTP is used by participants and expires after 1 hour. Predefined is used by the others. 2 pictures on the left show the login pages for both participants and researchers. We also use sanitization methods to protect cross-site scripting. web server is on a cloud server with a firewall, antivirus software, and daily backup. It further used SSL to keep the link private between user and the web application. The system has been verified to confirm its functionality, which is done by two testers, system developer and principal investigator. The procedure to verify use predefined database dataset to enter to the application, then retrieve the stored data and compare to the original datasets. The steps iterated until data was stored and retrieved correctly. Here we will be talking about the three key lessons learned from the work. Firstly, identify a true requirements of the system. Due to some unclear communication, the SAQ output was stored in the database as text, which cannot be analyzed directly in statistical software. To resolve this issue and prevent it in the future, we defined a data dictionary to assign numeric value to response options. Secondly, considering the needs of the participants, the SAQ initially verified participants using OTP. However, in the first few months of the studies, we found that some participants did not receive their OTP and could not log in to administer the questionnaires. To address this issue, we further modified the system to support participants' predefined password. Since then, the issue was no longer reported. Lastly, balancing validation constraints and user-friendliness of the system, our SAQ implemented extensive form validation to ensure the quality of the data entered. However, some participants reported that this made time-consuming to complete the SAQ, so in the expanded study, this issue should be reviewed and the system should be modified to make it more user-friendly. We will discuss in four points. The first one, unforeseen issues. Although the system being thoroughly designed and tested, unforeseen issues still occurred during the implementation, including user verification steps and questionnaire validation. The second, meeting the needs of different participants. We use OTP via participants' mobile number and participants' email addresses for registration to the system after opt-in. However, this did not work for some participants. For this point, multiple different approaches should be considered during the system design. Thirdly, balancing between questionnaire validation and user-friendliness is challenging. We found challenges with validation of the complex form used in the SAQ, which reduced user friendliness. So, prioritize which validation checks to include during questionnaire development to minimize this issue. Comparison to red cap is the point to discuss. Our system is an alternative way to address the issue and efficiently collect and manage research data. In addition, our system provides functionality for self-entry of data by participants compromising data security, capabilities for which are limited in REDCap. In conclusion, this paper presents the design of clinical research informatics system for supporting a birth cohort study in Thailand. The design procedure comprised gathering requirements, analyzing study workflow, and designing system components. The end result was a bespoke web application that combines self-administered questionnaires, clinical record forms, sample information management, study progress monitoring, and basic analytics. This kind of system could help efficiently manage the research data in other prospective studies. We would like to thank Wellcome Trust and Ramadipati Hospital for funding this work. Thank you for your attention.